What's up, everybody? It's Mike and Nick. We're back with our best bets of our UFC, Bellator Paris, and Fury versus Usyk card, of course. Sorry about the technical difficulties this week, y'all. We had a full UFC card breakdown, as well as another best bets video. Due to technical difficulties, an insane, absolute week. We have to get this out a little bit late to you. We're only dropping the best bets, but we'll be back on the train next week for you. Don't forget to follow us, like, share, subscribe. Shout out to CST today. Mike, you want to plug your Twitter real quick?
Michael_Aquino, but it's with a 0. So it's Michael_AQUIN and then the number 0.
Fuck yeah. My Twitter right there is at Nick Saban, NICCSABAN. Just like the football coach, but Nick with 2 C's. With that being said, though, Mike, what's your first best bet of the week?
All right, so this week I'm rocking with a few different things, but I'm going to start with a builder, and it's going to be Patchy Mix moneyline, Tom Nolan moneyline, and Abus Magomedov moneyline, which will put you at plus 110. It is a kind of a bankroll builder type parlay, just enough to get you into plus money, something that's relatively safe. Obviously, gambling is not always or ever safe, but it's about as safe as you can get when you're dealing with those close odds.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of going with something that's similar in terms of a bankroll builder, just due to the odds. But I really love all three of these legs of this parlay. Angela Hill versus Oga Luana. Angela Hill has sick Muay Thai. She can stay strong on the outside. I think she stays safe over that first round blitz. I think she kicks her way to a decision, and I think she will not get the split decision loss this time. I have Angela Hill by unanimous decision, but just her money line alone is minus 142. If you add that with Garimbo, who I think fighting Ramej Bahrain, who is a straight can crusher, only has a round of gas in him. And the minute he gets past that wrestle pluck, I like Garimbo to finish him in the later rounds. And he's at a minus 145. And then you top that off with Patchy Mix at minus 345 right now. A little bit steep price here, but Patchy Mix already finished Magomedov about 3 fights ago. He is the best back taker in MMA. Crazy sick jiu-jitsu, dating Tatiana Suarez. He has been, in my opinion, one of the best bantamweight prospects on planet Earth, and now he's probably the best bantamweight on Earth. He's putting together a striking on a sick win streak right now with Sergio Pettis, Horiguchi, Rafion Stotts by knockout. He's just getting better and better. It's his time to shine. So when you combine Angela Hill, Garimbo, and Patchy Mix together, you get plus 268. So it's a solid little bankroll builder, but I feel very confident in that one.
You're geeking me with that. Once he gets past the Russell Fug, hopefully he does get past the Russell Fug. Ramiz Brahimaj is only plus 180 by submission, which I was like, damn, they think that's relatively likely. That's crazy. For some reason, I'm like feeling pretty confident in Themba Grimbo as well, honestly. And I have him in my UFC parlay, which is very similar to yours, obviously without Patchy Mix. My little 3-leg UFC parlay, I got Angela Hill money line, Themba Garimbo money line, and Abus Magomedov money line. It's plus 292, a little bit chalky, but at the end of the day, it's something I'm feeling decently confident in for this UFC slate that has a lot of sus fights on it.
Well, the good thing about Abus is he's fighting Worley Alves, who isn't necessarily a cardio king, which Abus, I think his biggest issue is worried about him fading. Sick front kicks, kind of loopy, but straight shots in a way. He punches hard as shit. And he doesn't have the worst wrestling in the world. So I think that's an awesome parlay all in all when you put it together. The only thing about either of our parlays that I worry about is the Raheem first round submission. But dude, beating up fucking Michael Gilmore, a literal butcher off the street, doesn't really incite super confidence to me. And, losing to a washed, I don't want to call him washed, excuse me, but an aged Court McGee, a little bit suspect to say the least. So for my next parlay, I think this one, it's a 3-legger. It's over plus 700. I love this one. Barbosa and Murphy not to go the distance at minus 120. Jai Apatow by knockout over Breedis. They already fought, I understand, in the first fight, but Jai Apatow seemed to have a lot of issues. I understand he had a hand injury coming into that fight. He has been extremely active, face planting people in his last few fights as well. Against Breedis, who's coming in for this fight, which is a boxing match, by the way, co-main event for Fury Usyk, for those that aren't initiated. Who's coming off a 2-year layoff. And when boxers come off layoffs, there is true cases of ring rust. Apatow's someone that they're truly pushing. I think they're giving him the second fight because they understand that this time he's going to face plant. And you can get Apatow at a minus 145 right now on any book. And then Bruno Fuentes. He is the open fighter right now on the Bellator card against Absul Abajaz. I His fight against William Souza and Castro Acosta are super impressive. Great scrambling, incredible jiu-jitsu, long TP range striking, tough as shit. Really impressed by his record. You can catch him at the opening fight for Bellator Paris at plus 180. So just to run it through one more time, as a total on parlay, you got Barbosa and Murphy not to go the distance. Jai Apatow for the Fury Usyk co-main event by knockout. And then Bruno Fuentes at a plus 180 at the opening fight for Bellator Paris. Plus 767. I love this parlay. Love this parlay at plus 767. Well worth a good amount of money.
What about that other concoction of a parlay that we came up with, also involving Bruno Fuentes, the under 1.5 in the Yanez Vinicius Salvador fight, and Patchy Mix double chance?
Oh, and you're forgetting, we also had one more leg to that too as well, if I'm not mistaken. Pierre Carnelossi under 2.5. But the lines have now come out for that fight not to go the distance. It's at plus 165. So if you're looking at Mike and Mix, the Gen parlay of the week, Patchy Mix by finish, Pierre and Carnelossi not to go the distance at plus 165, Bruno Fuentes at plus 180. And what's the last leg? I apologize.
It might have been that. I don't know why I was thinking it was Yanez and Salvador under 1.5.
Well, actually, so I guess I can talk about it now because my dog parlay of the week has 3 dogs, and Yanez Salvador under 1.5 is the first leg of that dog parlay, actually. So if we're going with my dog parlay of the week, because all of these odds are at dog money, Yanez Salvador under 1.5 at plus 124. I just want to say this. Yanez super sharp, crisp boxing. Salvador throws fucking nukes, but he's a complete can crusher, susceptible to body shots. Yanez is someone that builds extremely well, and then by the end of the fight, man, he's just really putting it on people. Salvador is someone who is extremely tough, but he takes shots on the chin, and against Yanez, you don't want to be open to the chin shots, and he doesn't throw as many leg kicks that could stop Yanez. I love the under 1.5 in that fight. You have Ajit Kaya Bell, who is going to be the third fight on the Usyk Fury fight in a heavyweight title eliminator fight. He's fighting Frank Sanchez. People love Frank Sanchez at 24-0. Frank Sanchez beats up the butcher from down the road, the taxi driver from Mexico, and all of their cousins. Ajit Kayabal beat up Makhmudov, and if you know anything about boxing, was legit heavyweight fucking boogeyman. No one wanted to fight this guy. They take him on Saudi Arabia for Madov to win in front of his home crowd, and he upsets him in front of everybody. I love Ajit at plus 180 line this week as well. And then my final line here, I have Pierre and Carnelossi not to go the distance at plus 165. So if you're going to parlay all 3 of these dogs together, you have Yanez and Salvador under 1.5. Ajit Kayabal, which is the third fight on the Usyk Fury card, heavyweight title eliminator against Frank Sanchez. And then Pierre versus Carnelossi under plus 165. I'm not sorry, under. Fight not to go the distance. It parlays to $1,562 or plus 1,562 odds. I'm sorry, man. My brain's all mushed. I wasn't expecting to record today since all the work we did yesterday. But I love that. 15-1 odds. I love that. I really think Ajit gets it done. Yanez Salvador under, I feel great about. Carlossi Pierre is going to be a little bit iffy, but guys, I got to say this yesterday, but I'll say it today. Of 27 combined fights between Carlossi and Perla, it is 20 of those 27 fights have not go the distance, and they've all gone under 2.5. I think with that extra 2.5 rounds or 2.5 minutes, I feel really safe about it. So
I like that dude's name, or at least the way you're pronouncing it, Ajit. You're like, yeah, Jit's going to fuck him up.
Yeah, baby, let's go. I'm sorry, everybody, too, that I stuttered my way through that. Me and Mike literally had to cram and put this together on both of our crazy schedules after the technical difficulties yesterday. So,
yeah, as I'm trying to edit it, that's a story for another time. It is what it is, but we move on. We have some solid lines. Nick has some awesome boxing plays. I think we have some pretty solid parlays. I'm looking at a couple Hail Mary props as well, and these are just light sprinkles. I do like no, I don't like. Let me rephrase that. I like the value in the lines. Carnelossi, typically when she wins, she does win by knockout. So Carnelossi by knockout is plus 800, which sticks out to me a little bit for a Hail Mary parlay if I'm going to sprinkle something for the lottos. And then on top of that, Carlston Harris by submission. I don't think he's going to get one, but it is relatively juicy at plus 450, and he does have slick chokes. Edson Barbosa, not too crazy, but Edson Barbosa at plus 250 for knockout is something that I like, and I actually think that's very likely to happen. Maybe FanDuel, when they drop on Friday, they have round method combos. Edson Barbosa by knockout in rounds 3, 4, or 5 is probably going to be pretty juiced as well. If I had to guess, I'd probably say plus 800. So I think that's something that I could play in a lotto.
Thorembo Garimbo, knockout in the second round is plus 1,200, and knockout in the third round is plus 2,000 right now on DraftKings. Garimbo in the second and third round, I think that's worth a play on each one. I think he does get wrestled and taken down, eventually works his way back up in the first round. I think puts him on in round 2 and 3 and eventually finishes Brahimaj, who again is a can crusher, slows down, has good open cage wrestling, but once it goes out of the window in the first round, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I agree. I hope the hype train, he's got the great story. He's been relatively impressive so far. I mean, at least Thamba Garimbo is improving. It's like noticeable improvements fight to fight.
Absolutely. I mean, he got punching power out of nowhere in his last fight. AJ Fletcher was a tough matchup, even though I think losing to AJ Fletcher it's pretty god awful to say the least. But I do think the UFC wants to push him. You see how much traction that ESPN MMA posted got because of The Rock buying in the house? Just that alone, I think they're setting him up with a overly winnable fight. Raheem Bahimaj's record may look good to the eye, but go do a little bit of a deep dive to see who he's beating up. He's beating up Shasha Plakhanov, who's in fucking karate combat at this point. And I swear to God, if I have to bring up Michael Gilmore one more time, y'all, go watch who Michael Gilmore is. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Dude is looks like Gordon Ryan, but he fights like the fucking can crusher from the Tomatoes. So it's crazy to me, man. So yeah, I think we have a bunch of good plays this week, and I truly can't wait to come back to this video and see how well we did. So
yeah, I'm following the boxing plays. Your boy Ajit
dude,
and the cross sport parlay or the cross event parlay. Oh,
hey, bro, I think Jai Patel by knockout minus 145. But I'm not going to let you off the hook here. You had one read about a boxing fight yesterday. I want to hear about it now. What were you telling me yesterday?
oh well, yeah, that's for my cross sport parlay. I got Tyson Fury money line, Patrick Mix money line, Edson Barbosa money line, one from each event that I'm watching just to keep things fun. It's only plus 421 and it's pretty risky in my opinion. But I do have confidence in Tyson Fury this week over Alexander Usyk, just because I mean, yeah, everyone can bring up Tyson Fury didn't look great against Francis Ngannou, who got starched by Anthony Joshua, who lost to Usyk. But at the end of the day, MMA math doesn't work. Boxing math doesn't necessarily work either. Tyson Fury came in fat and out of shape against Francis Ngannou, and it looked like he didn't give him any respect at all. And Francis Ngannou looked great. I'm not going to take that away from him. But Tyson Fury, although he is typically a little bit fat, he looked pretty trim, at least more trim than I've seen him in recent months. And he's been looking pretty solid this week. He's a lot bigger, a lot taller. He has great footwork, and he is pretty quick for his size too. So I think that's going to give Alexander Usyk a lot of problems. If I had to play a prop for that fight, I say Tyson Fury by decision. I don't see him probably don't see him knocking out Usyk, but if he did, I would say it's going to be around 7 through 12. Most likely Tyson Fury by decision, but I'm pretty confident in him to get it done.
If I were to break it down on a triple beam or a weight scale or something of that nature, footwork would go to Usyk, size and power would go to Fury, hand speed would go back to Usyk, and I think ring leadership and fight IQ would also go to Usyk. The issue here is shout out to my boy Jay Smooth from Rush Hour Fight Show for bringing this up on his last fucking show as well. He has the Saudi backing, the promotion backing. They would prefer Fury to win in this case here. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad play. I'm just hesitant to play that fight at all. I do have a boxing theory in general. I think when lines are anywhere from a plus 100 to a plus 230, you really have to look at those underdogs very closely. Because in boxing, they line it very one way or the other. It's usually heavy favorites in boxing, and those heavy favorites almost always take the cash. So anytime you see lines that are anywhere from plus 100 to plus 230, I'm always looking at those closely in terms of boxing. That's why I love Ajit so much this week, man. At plus 180, come on now. So I'm super excited for this weekend of fights in general. I think we have a bunch of good bets. It's hilarious. I'm not stuttering now. Fucking hell, man, of course. But with that being said, you have anything else to say before we get on out of here?
Shoot, I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Patchy Mix coming out this weekend. UFC card's going to be fun. There's hopefully going to be some
thing. The lines haven't came out. I think I'm going to take Patchy Mix by knockout. Patchy Mix, I know he is such good front chokes. Magomedov's going to try to wrestle fuck his way. His back take game is the best in MMA, period. I don't care what anyone says. I could see a world where Patchy Mix flattens him out on his back and punches his way to a decision. His striking seems to get better. I mean, I watch his stories very closely. Knees up the middle are sharp. I don't know. I can see a world where Patchy Mix wins by knockout. And when that prop drops, because I can guarantee that's where the money's going to be, where we're going to be looking for odds and plays to weigh Patchy Mix. I love him by knockout, actually, in this case. Him by finish is my favorite play, period. But him by knockout is definitely something to put a more than a sprinkle on, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree. I like Patchy Mix striking. Well, I mean, Patchy Mix is underrated regardless. A lot of fans, I actually, funny enough, there's this
Well, his
UFC to
could not be great. I can truly say that his striking has come a long way over his last few fights. Like if you go look at his Juan Archuleta fight, you could see how young he was, and he learned so many lessons from there. And then even you see in the Horiguchi fight, his striking entries weren't the best into his cage grappling, but he was so much bigger than Horiguchi. Since then, it's like he's improved leaps and bounds. It's fucking incredible, man. I'm sorry, I'm a super Patchy Mix nerd. It's like my favorite fighters on planet Earth are guys like William Zepeda, Jerry Cannonier, Subaru Mateus, Patchy Mix. These are like my favorite fucking fighters. So anytime I can talk about any of these guys, I'm a geek out. I apologize for cutting you off, Mike.
It's all good. I'm excited for Patchy Mix. I'm excited for Edson Barbosa, and definitely excited for this Tyson Fury fight and some of the underdogs that you have on this boxing card. So I'm going to look to play my bets smart. I'm following your boxing bets, and I have some of my own little lottos that I'll drop as well on Twitter. And it's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah, so I just want to say this too. I did parlay all my favorite plays together. So Apatow by knockout, Barbosa Murphy not to go the distance, Bruno Fuentes, Hill Garimbo mix, and then I also took a JIT. That comes out to a plus 18, essentially 1,800 to 1 odds, 18,562. So I put a little $20 on it here to hopefully win, 3.6K. How sick would that be? Hopefully, if we could sweep this card, it'd be fucking insane, man. Just saying.
Yeah, we've been on a roll. So hopefully we stay on a roll here this week and we can get the bankroll built. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend. Always bet responsibly, y'all. Of course, take into consideration the things that we say. Do your own research. And if you're feeling the way that we're feeling, go ahead and throw something on it. But like I said, always do your own research and bet responsibly.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Big shout out to everyone that shows love to us, man. I love our weekly viewers, especially. Shout out to TJ, Will. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to all the Combat Sports Today crew. If you're a weekly viewer and I didn't shout you out, I truly apologize, but we truly appreciate all the love. Like, can't tell you how much. Keep sharing, y'all. Keep letting us grow our fan base. We got a bunch of cool shit coming on the way, so
Oh, yeah, let's get it.
much love.
Peace, y'all.